It's just guys, right Jack back for another video today. I'm not happy, man. I'm not happy. It is my post-mortem City Forest reaction, the 2-2 draw. Clearly not good enough from Manchester City, from any side wanting to win a Premier League title. And I don't know. My title of the video is what's next for this team. What's next for the season? I don't think the season is over. I don't necessarily 100% believe the league is over, but I have thoughts. I won't lie, I'm not confident. I'm not confident in a Premier League title any longer. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I feel good. I think Arsenal will drop points and we'll win all our games. I can't sit here and say that. So I do want to do a little recap of the game and then discuss some thoughts I have on certain players and transfers, because that's where you solve the problems. I mean, whatever happens at the end of the season, we're going to go into the summer window and have business to do, work to be done. And I have some opinions on that. So before we do start, if you are new, do hit subscribe. I appreciate all the support we get on the channel. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll respond to every single comment like I always do. We look at the game here. It is 2-2. And I guess I should talk about a bit of the refereeing. There's probably 3 clips that are going on Twitter right now of potential penalties for Erling Haaland in this match. 2 for Haaland, 1 on the Rodri. I would say the Rodri one, I don't buy. I don't think that's a penalty. The kick where he takes a shot and a kick and Elliot Anderson and his leg kind of collide, I don't think that's a pen. I think that's harsh if given a pen. No pen is called. Haaland has 2 opportunities that are potentially penalties. One where he's wiped out by Sells. I do think that's a penalty, probably. It reminded me basically exactly of the Alisson Nunez pen that won us Liverpool game. It feels like they're identical, so I don't really get why one is a pen and what's not. I don't know. My conclusion is the referees are just not very good. I don't believe in corruption. I don't believe the refs have it out for City, because if you go on Twitter, every ref has it out for every single club in the league. All the refs are corrupt and they're all terrible against everyone's own club. So I don't buy into that. I just think they're not that good. And the refereeing is not consistent, and it is what it is. Sometimes you get a call, sometimes you don't get a call. I do think the Haaland Sells collision is a penalty because I've seen it given. The other one, Haaland getting semi-pulled down, I don't think is a penalty. I just don't think there's enough in it. I think Haaland goes down a little bit easy. He's definitely tugged a bit, but to me, not enough for a penalty, and I wouldn't want to see that given anyway. Furthermore, we do not need to be relying on penalties to beat Nottingham Forest, a team fighting relegation, to win a match at home against them. If we're relying on penalties, that's a loser mentality to me. So we should have put the game to bed multiple times. We were 1-0 up, they equalized. We go 2-1 up, they equalize. Many opportunities to get a 2-goal lead, where at that point the game is dead, the game is buried, and City do not take advantage of those chances that were created. Whether that's a lack of energy, a lack of focus, a lack of effort, I don't know. But whatever the reason, they didn't do it, and a title-winning team beats Nottingham Forest at home 10 out of 10 times. They just do. They just do, especially at this point in the season. It's unforgivable to drop points at this point if you really want to go win the Premier League title. And the other thing, I do think the players want to win the Premier League title, but I just don't believe in this team that much. I just don't. Everyone online says Arsenal will be the worst champions ever. Well, what does that make us? We're 7 back from the worst champions ever. So I would think that also applies to City. This would be the worst City team to win a Premier League title, I think, as well. And that doesn't diminish winning the title, but I mean, I think we have to take a look in the mirror that this team is not good enough, and it should be. Based on what we've spent, I think we should have enough to be winning this Premier League based on how much I don't think Arsenal are very good. And then there's really no one else even challenging for the Premier League title. I think City should be winning the Premier League title this year, and maybe there's been errors in the transfer market. Maybe there's been errors coaching-wise. But I think with what we've spent, you should be expecting better results, and I think better results would equal a Premier League title in this singular season. Maybe not all seasons, but in this season, I do. Donnarumma, not great. I don't think you can really blame him for the 2 goals. Maybe he should do a bit better on one of them, but back heel, he's unsighted. I find it hard to blame Donnarumma. I would like a save on one of those two, but very impressive goals to me. Maybe that's a bit harsh. I thought Guehi was not great. Probably his worst game for City. First half, he was good. Second half, major drop-off and lapse, unfortunately. Diaz was all right. Nunez, probably his worst game in months. I thought he was awful. Worst player on the pitch, unfortunately. I love Nunez. I think he's had a great season, but individually, this performance was putrid. It was awful. Nori, fine. Rodri, okay. I gets a goal, which I think boosts his rating here. I don't think he was that good. I don't think he was very influential. I don't know. There's a lot of talk about Rodri's contract. Is that a distraction to him? The Real Madrid links? Maybe. I don't know. But I think Rodri's a big one to watch this summer. I could easily see him deciding he's done his time at City and leaving the club. Foden gets a lot of slack, I would say. He wasn't good. He wasn't good either. And I don't think he's been good since January. That's not enough to make me go as far as some people are saying, where, sell him, never play him again. I think that's a bit over the top. But he does need to be... he needs to be better. He needs to fix up. I don't know what's his problem in his personal life or what it is, but he's not playing up to the standard he's shown he's capable of, and I want that fixed. But I'm not one of the people that sell this guy, get him out of my club. I think that's a bit over the top. Bernardo was fine, whatever. Should have scored at the end, could have won us the game, but he slipped. I don't like his comments about we don't get the 50-50 calls. I just don't think that's a winning mentality. I think he should have said, game was what it was. I should have scored the goal to win the game at the end. That's what I would have liked him to say. Instead of, the refs, the refs. I hate that. I don't like that. Cherky, again, decent, gets an assist. He's had a pretty good season, but doesn't contribute much defensively. I think that is an area for improvement. Semenyo gets a goal. That's awesome. That's what he does. Haaland, non-existent in this one, unfortunately. It is what it is. I didn't think he was great, and Haaland is a bit concerning. He had a nice performance not that long ago against Newcastle. However, since January, if you look at his stats, they're not good. They're not good whatsoever. Since January 1st, he's got a goal against Brighton. He's got a goal against Galatasaray, Fulham and Liverpool, back-to-back goals, and that's it. 4 goals since January. We're in March. That is not good form. How long has he been at this? 20-ish, right around this 20 in the Premier League Golden Boot race. He's probably going to win the Golden Boot, but 28 matches, 22 goals sounds really nice, but in the last 3 months, he's got 3 Prem goals. He's getting a goal a month in the Prem. That's clearly not good enough to me. So maybe it's the system. I don't know. He needs to be better. He needs to be scoring goals for us to win matches. So that's my opinion there. I think Haaland can and should be doing much better. Husanov comes on for 15 minutes at right back. Fine, I guess. I don't know. Then you have Jeremy Doku, came on, basically did nothing. Maybe that's a bit harsh because he's coming back from an injury, which is fine. I understand that. But Savinho as well comes on, and he's coming back from an injury. I thought he was actually very productive. Almost scored the match-winning goal right at the last minute. Created a couple opportunities. He's taking his man on. I don't think I understand the people blaming Savio for that game. It makes no sense to me. I thought Savinho in his 10 minutes was good. Did way more than Doku did. And Doku is a concern to me because he's injury prone, and I just don't think, in general, he's that good of a player. So that leads me to ask, we don't have to talk about the Premier League. I just don't think Arsenal are going to drop enough points or City are going to get enough points to actually make this competitive run in these last 9, 8 games, whatever it is. I just think most likely the Premier League is over. It is Arsenal, so you never know. They could drop points, but it doesn't seem likely to me. I do think it's probably leaning towards it's over. And I put this tweet out earlier. It's just me kind of typing my thoughts out so I could reference them later. These are the players that I think have a chance to leave the club. And this is what I mean by big summer in 2026. There are 10, 11 guys that could see themselves sold or leave the club. And that's massive. That's massive. I know people say we're in a transition now, but and I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. I think if you're Manchester City, the board expects you to be competing, whether you're in a transition or not. You should be competing for these league titles, which we're doing, and we're competing in the cups. We're doing so. I don't really accept that we're in a transition, but player wise, I mean, it's hard to deny that we would be if 10 players leave the club this summer. Stones, Ake, Trafford, Rico, Lewis, 100% gone in my opinion. That's four players leaving the club. Two of them don't really play, Trafford and Rico. And to be fair, Stones and Ake don't really play either. And their replacements may already be in the squad. Vitor Hayes replaces John Stones. Husinov or Gehi replaces Ake, so that's fine. Trafford you can replace with a homegrown English older goalkeeper or younger goalkeeper, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me who that is, but that shouldn't be difficult to find. Rico Lewis, you buy a young right back because he can't play right back. He's not going to get in the midfield, so it is what it is. Time for him to leave the club for this summer and find game time elsewhere. Kovacic, I said 90% just because he does have a year left on the contract. Maybe nobody wants to buy him, and then you're kind of stuck with him. But I think likely he leaves as well. He's also not played basically any minutes this year. That's 5 players basically not playing who leave the club. Kovacic's replacement, maybe that is Nico Riley in the midfield, who just plays those minutes that Kovacic would have had if he'd been fit this year. Maybe it's Mukasa, maybe it's Echeverri, someone like that potentially, because then you get Bernardo, who I think is likely to leave, but maybe there's a contract extension. There's rumors out there. Elliot Anderson seems the replacement to me at the moment, and I would lean on going younger than going with a 32-year-old Bernardo. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's the right move, in my opinion. Marmoush, this is not I don't think Marmoush is good enough thing, but I'm at 70% he's leaving just because he doesn't play. He doesn't play. I think he's a very good player, very talented player who should be getting minutes that doesn't. So to me, he's out the door. He'll ask to leave and go to a place where he'll play. And I don't think you can blame him that it is what it is. Marmoush is the guy that I'm thinking leaves out of the wingers. There are some other wingers who I'll get to in a moment. Midfield, 6th position, Nico G and Roger. I kind of put both at 60%. I'm pretty confident one of them leaves the club in the summer. I don't really know which one, but there's maybe a small chance they both leave and we have to replace both of them, which obviously wouldn't be great. You'd prefer to keep both of them if you can, or one of them, but I think Rodri to Madrid is definitely a legit thing. Nico G to Barcelona, I think could be a legit thing if Rodri decides to stay. So you don't know, but Nico G wants to play, and if Rodri stays, he's not playing. So I could understand him asking to leave, and I think he's a very good player and should play, but he doesn't. So weird one there. Savinho, 50%. I think he's not very good in general. I don't think he's going to be good enough. Maybe he is. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he stays and becomes our best ever winger. That'd be great. But me personally, I don't see it. So it does seem like the club likes him. The club rates him. But there was interest in him last summer. I would imagine there's more interest this summer. And if somehow Marmoush decides to stay, maybe Savinho is the one that's out the door. Doku, I already talked about a bit. I don't think he's very good. I don't think he's very effective. I would sell him, but I don't think the club believe that at all. I think the club really like him, and I don't think he's itching to leave, so I put that very, very low. Maybe that's different, controversial than what most people think, but I just have never really understood Jeremy Doku. He doesn't really get you goals. He somewhat creates chances, but not really. I don't get it. He's injury prone as well. I just think you can improve in that position. And then Phil Foden. I only put him there because people are banging on about Foden. I think there's zero chance the club sells him in the summer. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's sold for a mega fee, but he's an academy lad. I just don't think that's happening, and I just think it's a bit silly to discuss that when people are talking about him getting a new contract at the minute. So I don't see that personally. So that's how I'm feeling at the moment. Summer is going to be massive for this football club. Major decisions are going to be made. Whether we win the Premier League or not, of course, is still to be decided, but I'm not feeling confident Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, of course, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Subscribe if you guys are new, like the video, and check out all my social links in my channel description. Membership now available as well. Now, you don't have to do that, of course, but if you want to go the extra mile, become a member of the channel, that'd be really cool. So I do appreciate all the support on the channel, and I'll be back. See you guys in the next one. Peace.